Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a comic book review of House of Slaughter, issue number 3, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. We begin this issue with the father telling a scary story to his daughter. The boogeyman stole away the little girl, never to see your parents again. Quit it, Gary, says the mother. Gary's like, what? My dad told me that story on my first night in the woods, and I'm just fine. The little one is spooked and holds on to her mommy tight. I mean, if you experience camping out in the woods, telling scary stories is a rite of passage, right? Gary tells his daughter, all right, honey, I'm sorry. The woods aren't so scary after all, huh? Slop! A big Oscar-type monster decapitates his head. Mother and daughter can only look in shock. What's happening? I can't see anything, says the mother. The daughter can see the monster and she probably wishes she had it. Think of it like the it factor. Children can see it, adults really can't unless they manifest a fear. You know, something like that. A dagger hits the monster in the eye. It's Aaron and Jace on the hunt, ready to finish off this monster. Not to mention protect this little girl from being the next monster's victim. This was the moment where we left off in issue number 2. In this panel, we go back to a flashback of 15 years earlier. Jessica meets with the old dragon to put a hole in the first hunt until her kids are ready. And obviously the dragon's like, hey man, the house crumbles without its loss. It is our customs that hold the foundation to our discipline and pillars the roof, and our vigilance that stands the sanctuary at the gates. As the other members of the house discuss plans, Jessica and her kids get to postpone, for their hunt or for a later time or until next summer until her kids are ready. But Jace is poised to begin his first hunt as a member of the House of Slaughter, according to Cecilia. I mean, white mask, they hunt in groups. Black mask, they hunt individually. And the red mask, I forgot what they are. They're more like the in-house innkeeper, so to speak. I did a review on Something Is Killing the Children, issue number 20. What each color of the mask and their rankings are. So when the dragon asked Aaron Slaughter where earn his teeth or else, now tell me, where is the butcher boy now? Meaning Jace, because he came from the House of Bouchard. They ran away from the House of Slaughter, and Cecilia's like, well, he's with his roommate, sir, Aaron. But don't worry, I have my eyes on him. And her eyes on him are her other white mask in training. And Helen is watching him with these 2 redhead girls, and Helen tells him, all right, let's go, we're on. Quit messing around. We have to keep our eyes on our 2. Well, we're kind of messing around with these pigeons, so we have to keep an eye on these 2. Well, Cecilia will have our heads if we lose them, so. And now we get to know the motivation between Helen and why she's bullying Jace, because she has to earn her trust with Cecilia, and she's jealous of Aaron getting all the attention from Jessica, but she wants that same attention from Cecilia. So the only way she can do that is to pick on Aaron. Not to mention she doesn't trust Jace because Jace is a legacy hunter, meaning he was born into this. So therefore, Helen doesn't trust him. Now when they go to try and locate the 2, again, they lost them. And in frustration that they killed the 2 pigeons that they were playing with previously. So Jace and Aaron make their way throughout Chicago, running across the boundary line, making a jump. Aaron almost slips and fell. He gets rescued by Aaron. Obviously, they're building a connection with one another. Aaron's like, hey, if we go beyond the city's limits or beyond the river, it's out of bounds without a chaperone. Don't be a baby. I'm your chaperone. And then when Jace jumps across and hangs to get a quick view, he loses his grip and Aaron catches him. We need to be working together. And working together they are. I love this double panel where it shows them working together, fighting the monster, but it also calls back to how it ties into the past. And it's really clever how this is done, tie in the past and the present, how Aaron's supposed to kill Jace, but in the meantime, it's like their bond and their love for one another, I guess you could call it that, makes the mission that much more tough to complete for Aaron. And also, they got this big ass monster to kill in the meantime to protect this little girl. Kill me later, says Jace. I've been tracking this monster for weeks and it's bigger than I thought. And Aaron's like, I'm aware that you tracked this monster, remember? And they argue back and forth how, hey, I know you're supposed to kill me, but you gotta kill me later, bro. But hey, there's this nasty monster we gotta be dealing with. Little girl, go ahead and put your mommy's arm down. I mean, she's in a state of shock, and usually that initial shock of holding your mother's arms after being cut off is just, I can't speak on that, but I imagine the shock level is going to make you numb to it because everything is happening so fast that you're not used to dealing with. So now we go back to the past and we get a flashback of how Aaron and Jace bonded overlooking the city of Chicago. They outran everyone. It's a beautiful view. And then Aaron asks him, well, how'd you end up in the streets of Chicago? I mean, you're a legacy hunter. I saw your ring. Aren't you like royalty? Meaning he was born into it. Jace is like, man, if that's what they say. And Aaron's like, but were you on the streets or were you free? Why would you ever come back? I mean, once you're out of this life, why would you come back to it? Well, it's like you said, bro. It's in my blood. Cecilia found me and that's that. What about your parents? If they're hunters too, shouldn't you be at the butcher's? Don't call me that, and don't call it that, bro. That's what Jace tells Aaron. My parents might be dead, but they were more than that. They were killed by monsters. That's what happens to your parents. And Jace is like, yeah, I gotta admit to it. What's the point of masking it anymore? It was the monsters that killed my parents. And Aaron's like, I thought so. It's always monsters. We're not supposed to talk about it, but I lost my parents too. Then we get to a backstory for me, for Aaron telling Jace that for him, it wasn't the monsters, it was a car crash. And he didn't know who was at fault. No drunk driver, no running a red light. It was just an accident. But sometimes I find myself wishing it was a monster that killed him, because that would almost make more sense, So it's almost like Aaron has some issues that needs to be closed on because he doesn't know the full story. At least with Jace, he knew monsters killed his parents, but he doesn't want to talk about it. Aaron, it's like, I don't know why I'm here, and I have no closure with that. And then they share a kiss with not only the view to go on top of this. So that's their moment. That's their bonding right there. That's what brings them together. So Jace tells the little girl, what's your name? Katie. Well, you know what? The world may seem like it's over right now, but nothing makes more sense. So what I need you to do is promise me this. Promise you'll run, never look back. Take this, and when you run till you see the trees carved with stars, Katie, and then keep running past them, okay? And Katie's like, okay, and my family, they're gone, boo, but you're not. I'll take care of them while you go running for the stars and keep running. Now run and don't look back, right? And then when the little girl runs off and the monster's already killed and it's Aaron and Jace left all alone, remember, Aaron has to kill Jace. That was his mission, but why? I don't know. We don't know yet. It was just something that the House of Slaughter asked them to do. And they take off their clothes and they do a little hub style on the floor here in the woods. And that's how we end this series. Now, the drama between Aaron and Jace is what drives the story, but there's also a part of me that wants to get more in depth with the order itself. But the small moments we see with the politics of the house, that was done really well, and that was very interesting. You'll have a fun time reading this book. I think it's definitely worth picking up and adding to your comic book collection. Then again, that sounds a little bit biased seeing that we're a comic book channel, but hey, I gotta speak up here, Link in description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With that being said, House of Slaughter, issue number 3. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy and don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.